Hi, joining me for this edition of Eye on the Arts is Jane Lump, who is the Executive Director of the Sinai Forum at Purdue North Central. And Jane, very nice to have you here.
Thank you.
We have had Sinai Forum on once before in all these many, many years, and it was some time ago, and I remember I was so impressed with it. The substance of what you present is so impressive.
Well, we have had a long and really illustrious history. We've been around since the early 50s when it was founded by Dr. Bancroft, Dr. Milton Bancroft and his wife Sylvia, and they joined with a group of volunteers, community members to try to bring more culture and entertainment in a live town hall format to the Michigan City area originally. Today, I did a zip code analysis earlier this year of our ticket holders, and people come from as far north and west as Evanston and as far north and east as St. Joe, Michigan, and it really has a great following all along the lakeshore.
Well, tell us about your programming.
So the programming this year is, I think, a really exciting lineup. We just finished our first session on Sunday with Jen Lim, who was the Chief Happiness Officer at Zappos Shoes. So she talked a lot about their culture of happiness and the scientific approach to what creates happiness in business and communities. Our next program, which is coming up on September 28th, I always kind of forget my dates, but Sunday, September, they're all Sunday evenings. The doors always open at 3. They always begin at 4. And on September 28th, we have George Will. And George Will is a well-known columnist and speaker and also an author. And he's written a book this year about Wrigley Field, a nice little place on the north side.
He's a big baseball fan.
He is a big baseball fan. And he's got a nice little place on the north side, Wrigley Field at 100 years old. And he promises to tell a lot of the inside story of some of the things that have gone. If you've read the book, there's some great little stories in there. And I spoke to a group of students the other day, and I said they were going to help with the forum. And I said, okay, who's a Cubs fan? And not many hands went up. And I went, who's a Sox fan? And lots of hands went up. And I said, I think you're going to like it, because he talks about some of the mishaps and the kind of strange things that go on behind the scenes at Wrigley Field. And then after that, we have John King. And John King, well, actually between John King and George Will, we have Robert Glennon, who has written a book on water and the water crisis in America. His book is called Unquenchable. And, you know, along the lakeshore here in particular, I think we have reasons to worry about what's going on. He talks about how our underground water reserves get drawn to the West Coast for one reason and back, but it's been a kind of a shell game, and we have a looming water disaster in America. After that, we have John King. Most people know him from CNN. He had the magic white wall during the last election where things would fly around. And then our final group is a jazz group. And the two anchors are Clayton Hamilton from the Clayton Hamilton Orchestra, a really well-known jazz group that has played with some of the greats of jazz. But they're joined on stage by Peter Bancroft, the son of our founders, who is in his own right a great piano player and kind of chose piano over, he chose
Well, this is all we have time for, though. So well, thank you for being here. We'll have you back. We'll have you back sometime.
We'll have to come back before some of the others are after. Thank you.
And thank you for watching. We'll be back again next week with another edition of Eye on the Arts.
Eye on the Arts is made possible in part by South Shore Arts, the Indiana Arts Commission, and the National Endowment for the Arts, a federal agency.